Our insights on internal control questionnaire. Number 1. How do you find the interview?
Together with my group, at first, we discussed what form of transaction we must do because we also consider our distant places and what kind of business we must to interview with. In the meantime of conversation online, we decided and concluded about cooperatives, whereby I am sure to work with, and we affirm to have an online transaction by messenger because we started in performing the internal questionnaire on Saturday, in which the Nikomawa branch cutoff is on every Saturday 10 p.m. So we decided to have an online transaction to them because of limited time. So we exert also an effort to translate the questionnaire into our own vernacular language. So as we go on by finding their internal control with their cash receipts and cash disbursement transaction, and as we send the internal control questionnaire, I find it difficult because the one who I sent is not responding to my request. And I do wait for a meantime for their response, and finally they give us an answer without giving us any word. Maybe because they were secure in something information and just they only need to answer the general ICQ. They just hit the like button as I praised my opposition to their acceptance with the ICQ given.
So, first question, how do you find the interview? Well, before I answer it, I will share first on what things we do and consider before doing this activity. So, as to my group, we discuss first on what way we can gather the information successfully considering our distances and what kind of entity we will going to interview with. And as a result of our discussion, we come up with an idea that we will conduct this activity in our cooperatives and through with online transactions as we only have a small amount of time as we exert much time translating the questionnaires into vernacular that we started to conduct this activity at Saturday, October 23. So to the question, I find it difficult because it is not easy to get a response right away. Like we will wait the time they will give us a sign. What I know that they have the reason, like the confidentiality and privacy.
I conducted the interview last October 23, 2021. I interviewed the bookkeeper of the KMPC or the Katipunan Multipurpose Cooperative. This cooperative offers buy and sell trading business. And they also offer loans to the members. I find it very challenging to accumulate information from them, and also it's hard to accumulate information from that cooperative because they were looking after the privacy of information.
Number 2 question. Your unforgettable experience.
My unforgettable experience is when I tried to conduct a request from Nico main office, but unfortunately they just give me this response. This needs approval, ma'am. We'll forward your concern to our general manager. Thank you. But until this time, no response from the last Saturday or October 23, but until this time we have no response from them. So that is one of my unforgettable moments. Though I'm just a student and I work ethically with integrity, but dealing with big businesses is not easy to access information. That's it.
Number 2, unforgettable experience. Maybe I can say that during this activity, overall, it is really an unforgettable experience because it is once in a lifetime to be experienced with this kind of activity, like knowing an idea on the internal control of one's entity and asking permission to get an information about their business in which other people could not experience it.
One of my unforgettable moments I interviewed one of the personnel, but he refused. He said that the bookkeeper or the managers are the one I interviewed in order to provide the objective and relevant information. Then I found out that the cooperative had a strong internal control.
Number 3, what is your realization?
My realization, though I am determined person and diligent with my assigned task, our momentum is not always in accordance with our will. We imagine positive confirmation, but in actual performance, the difficulty is in different level. So I realized that let's seek for small things first and overpassing our limit of reference. That's all.
3. What is your realization? My realization is that it is not easy to get information in an entity, especially when it is something like how they control the things inside their business. Like if they are a bookkeeper in that business, they cannot easily disseminate information into the outside world. Seriously, they cannot easily disseminate information to others. They must ask first in their GM or general manager if it is a go or not.
I realized that the interview outcome the questionnaires cannot be done easily. It takes patience and understanding the questionnaires very well before conducting it to the entity. And also the cooperative I interviewed ensured that they answer the questions accordingly.
4. How important is the ICQ?
Internal control questionnaires are usually included in a company's financial and risk management processes. Internal controls can benefit businesses both inside and outside of the company. These documents assist auditors in determining whether or not a corporation meets the internal control system requirements or standard.
4. How important is the ICQ? Well, as for the result of our interview, the ICQ is very important as it promotes accountability and it assesses the effectiveness of one's internal control.
The internal controls plays a vital role in the company, firms, and some businesses. This will assess the effectiveness of internal controls for which the management is responsible of that. And also, ICQ evaluates the performance of the internal controls of the business.
The last question, what can you recommend or suggest for future auditors?
So I recommend to our future auditors that rooting what is truth is very important part of an auditor. Being effective and efficient in your own way makes you truly an independent auditor. You seek fact and deals for responsibility. Just work and practice everything because nothing is impossible with Jesus.
5. What can you recommend or suggest for future auditors? So, my recommendation is just, as of the moment, take care of yourself as you take your studies right now, because you cannot achieve in the future being an auditor if you're experiencing a bad health. And if that times you achieve in the future to be an auditor, good job. And just want to say that do the right things, be vigilant, and have a sufficient, appropriate decision in things.
And one of my recommendations to the future auditor is to keep in mind the value of professional skepticism, staying independent and objective in audits, and use good judgment all the time.